The 17th edition of the European Championships is just around the corner, and excitement among fans is sky high. Italy won the last edition of the tournament in 2021, beating England on penalties at Wembley. And again, 24 of Europe's best nations will contest for the prize to be crowned champions this summer, with the best players, both young and experienced, all aiming to lead their nations to glory. With this in mind, let's take a look at 5 of the favourites and a dark horse at this summer's tournament. Kicking off our list is 2008 and 2012 champions Spain. Spain come into this edition of the Euros as one of the strongest sides on the continent. Despite some question marks still lingering around the squad and their ability to win games against the very best sides, Spain's last 2 international tournaments have ended in disappointment. They were beaten in the round of 16 by Morocco at the 2022 World Cup on penalties, and lost at the semi-final stage of the last Euros to eventual winners Italy, also on penalties. So they come into this tournament with pressure to perform. However, despite recent underperformance, expectations for La Roja are understandably high. Spain have won 9 out of 10 official games under new coach, Luis de la Fuente, and were dominant in the qualifiers for the tournament. The Spanish coach has Spain playing an exciting brand of football with fast-paced 4-3-3, which is a lot different from the slow possession football the side played under Luis Enrique. Key to Spain's style and potential success will be their 2 young wingers, in Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, who have the dynamism and pace we don't often see in Spanish wingers. They'll support experienced Alvaro Morata in attack, a trio which has worked well in recent games. As always, Spain also boasts a great midfield, with players like Fabian, Zubimendi, and Alex Baena, all capable of controlling games. But their star man in this tournament will be Manchester City midfielder Rodri, arguably the best midfielder on the planet. His defensive abilities, eye for a pass, and calmness in the midfield will no doubt be important, as Spain seek to win their 4th European crown. The Germans come into Euro 2024 in a very similar situation to Spain. A new coach, hungry young players, and pressure to banish the ghosts of recent tournament exits. Since their World Cup win in 2014, German fans have had very little to cheer about, with a disappointing round of 16 exit at the last Euros, sandwiched between 2 group stage exits at the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. Joachim Löw and Hansi Flick have both left the German dugout in recent years, and now pressure falls on Julian Nagelsmann to bring glory back to Berlin. Germany's hopes of a successful tournament will lie in the hands of youngsters Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala, who are set to assume the responsibility previously held by veterans like Thomas Müller and Ilkay Gundogan. Young players like Kai Havertz, Nicolo Schlotterbeck, and Alex Pavlovic will also play important roles for the Germans this summer. Despite their reliance on young players, Germany also have a host of experienced heads in their camp. Real Madrid centre-back Antonio Rudiger, Joshua Kimmich, Leroy Sané, and Ilkay Gundogan were all named as part of the German squad. Most importantly, however, is the return of Toni Kroos to the fold. The Real Madrid man had previously retired from international commitments, but stellar form at club level meant the midfielder earned a recall to the side. Germany have been drawn in a tough group with Hungary, Scotland, and Switzerland, but they will be fairly confident about progressing to the knockout phase. The challenge for Nagelsmann will be finding the best system to fit his stars, particularly Musiala and Wirtz, who play similar positions at club level. And with striker Timo Werner left out of the squad, Nagelsmann would also need to decide who leads the line for the Germans this summer. Portugal are always considered one of the favourites for any international tournament, mainly because they have one man in their ranks, Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo and Portugal would be looking to build on a strong qualifying campaign, where they won all 10 qualifying games. Following the World Cup quarter-final exit, long-term coach Fernando Santos was replaced by Roberto Martinez, who has breathed new life into the side. However, Martinez has come into the job with a fair share of doubters, having failed to hit his target at a star-studded Belgium team in the last few tournaments. The team is set to once again rely on Cristiano Ronaldo, but in recent years the Portugal team has shown they are more than just their great number 7. Portugal have talent all over the park, including the likes of Bruno Fernandes, João Felix, Rafael Leão and Bernardo Silva. As Ronaldo's years advance, the pressure on him to carry the team to glory has reduced, with Portugal now boasting a talented roster of attackers. In defence, Portugal will be led by another veteran in the form of 41-year-old Pepe, but can also call upon talented youngsters, Gonçalo Inácio and Antonio Silva. Euro 2024 is likely to be Ronaldo's last tournament with the national team, so there's a sense of urgency within the Portugal camp for their superstar to bow out in a blaze of glory. Portugal will face the Czech Republic, Turkey and Georgia in the group stage and are favourites to advance to the elimination rounds. However, how they match up with the top sides in the latter stages will be of keen interest to fans. Will Portugal repeat the highs of Euro 2016? They'll need their star players and especially Ronaldo to bring their best this summer to achieve it. Next up on our list is Didier Deschamps' French side. To many, France are the outright favourites to win the Euros this summer, and with good reason. France were sensational at the 2022 World Cup, making it all the way to the final and coming close to being crowned world champions for the second time in a row. Les Bleus will no doubt be fueled by the disappointment of losing the World Cup final, and on their day, France are a formidable opponent for anyone. Didier Deschamps once again leads the French team this summer with a squad of familiar faces, mixed with some of the best youngsters in the world and experienced veterans. Like at the World Cup, France's primary threat will once again come from Kylian Mbappe. The pacey winger is arguably the best player in the world and is set to play a starring role this summer. Veterans Antoine Griezmann and Olivier Giroud will join him in attack, a trio that has worked remarkably well for France in the last few years. Midfielder N'Golo Kante also makes a return to the side after a lengthy absence from the national team. Deschamps has a host of talented youngsters to call upon, such as William Saliba, Aurélien Tchouameni, Eduardo Camavinga and Bradley Barcola. But before thinking about lifting the trophy, France will firstly need to navigate a tricky group where they'll face the Netherlands, Austria and Robert Lewandowski's Poland. France are expected to make a deep run in this tournament, and you wouldn't bet against them going all the way to the final once again. Going into the Euros, England look the strongest team on paper, but that's often the case with England in most tournaments. Yet surprisingly, they've failed to win a major trophy since 1966. Would this finally be the year they lift some silverware? Gareth Southgate's men have faced a string of agonising failures on the international stage. 2 semi-final losses in the last 2 World Cups against Croatia and France came either side of a final loss at Euro 2020 to Italy on home soil. There's pressure on Southgate and his boys to finally take the last step and bring home a gold medal. While there's a lot of questions over the mentality of the England squad, what there are no questions about is the side's talent. England are stacked with world-class talent all across the pitch, and unlike most nations, there's no clear star man. Jude Bellingham is garnering the most attention of any of the England stars following his stellar season in Madrid. But the Three Lions can also rely on the services of players like Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden and Harry Kane. With this amount of attacking talent in the squad, England are a formidable opponent for any side this summer. The challenge for Southgate will be finding the right balance to fit in his star players. England have always had a star-studded squad in the past, but have always struggled with the balance of the team, which has cost them in key moments. This summer is set to be Southgate's final tournament as England boss, and he'll surely want to bow out with a medal. England definitely has what it takes to go all the way, and it'll be interesting to see how the Three Lions fare this summer. That's it for our favourites for Euro 2024, but before we go, let's take a look at a potential dark horse for this tournament. In past editions, we've seen some smaller nations make remarkable runs to the latter stage of this competition, and there are a couple of nations that may repeat that feat this year, one of which is Denmark. Denmark have a young and vibrant team heading into the Euros and will likely give the big boys a run for their money. Denmark reached the semi-final stage of the last Euros, playing an exciting and fast-paced brand of football, and they will no doubt repeat their performance levels this summer. Players like Andreas Christensen, Rasmus Højlund, and Christian Eriksen are all set to play starring roles for the Danish side this summer, and they're one of the teams to keep an eye on. That's it for today's video. Do you think England or France will be crowned champions this summer? Or do you fancy Italy or the Netherlands? As always, let us know your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.